Hello, Rancheroos. It is time for the Ranchcast. I am joining you here today live from Tech Bash. Spent the day working on some stuff and also in a session for Azure Functions and serverless software development. So that was my day today. Spending a little bit of time on this for part two. So let's talk about where we are and where we're going. So if you'd like to join us today, you can join us via Slack. If you go to slack.rancher.io, put in your email address, you can actually join us. Join us on the chat live. Once you do that, then go to the Ranchcast channel. I'll be monitoring that from time to time. See if any questions are out there. But feel free to say hi. This session is being recorded, like all of my other sessions. We're live now on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. And the session that's live right now will be on YouTube later tonight, or maybe tomorrow when I get around to it. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, I am at Tech Bash tonight. So I'm at Tech Bash all week. I'm speaking tomorrow on Azure Kubernetes Service. We'll be speaking on Thursday on this topic, breaking up the monolith. So if you'd like to join Tech Bash, there are 1-day passes available. There are 3-day passes available. There are sessions. There were sessions today. There are sessions tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, and even some kids sessions on Friday. Some really cool stuff happening. Very family friendly conference. Even just out here for a day, it's worth the trip out. So let's talk about where we are and where we're going. So last night, we talked about the application we're going to use, the monolith we're going to break up. So we picked this small monolith, the building a simple chat app from 4 guys from Rolla. Let's go ahead and download that now. We're going to download this application, download chat app in zip format. Save that. No idea where to put that. Let's actually do that again. Yeah, we're not going to take. You know what? Let's just go ahead and open it in Windows Explorer, and then I'll just copy it where I want it. We've got these applications, and for now, we're just going to copy them out to the desktop. Oh, look, I already have it out there. Must have downloaded it last night. So we'll just do a new folder. Call this our chat app. Paste this here. And let's just review this application real quick. So first things first, we'll need to actually be able to run this application. And because it's ASP Classic, it's going to require the ASAPI module and some other things. So let's actually set that up right now. Back out the desktop. First things first, IS is going to need access to this application. So to do that, we'll go to security. We will then click edit. And we're going to add the iUser user, which is what allows ASP Classic apps in IIS and ASP Classic apps in the unmanaged pipeline to be able to see that. So we have that. Those permissions should be sufficient. I'm just going to double check my OBS because I'm a little paranoid. Yes, I am broadcasting my screen as I expected. And our chat app has the permissions it needs. So let's go into IIS Manager. Again, this specific application requires IIS. Where we're going to go with this is actually not Bing. So where we're going to go with this is we're actually going to eventually make this application work outside of Windows completely. So we're going to containerize this application. We're going to make sure that it's fully scalable and microservices based. This is a nice small app, so it lets us actually explore these concepts without getting bogged down in the minutia of the monolith itself. So let's actually go ahead. Now I already have an application pool set up. I have this ASP pool, and it's a no managed code. Basically just set up for just running ASP Classic. And let's create a website. Add website. Got our path is going to be a desktop path. Nope, not this PC. There's our chat app. Okay. Yep, port 80 is fine. HTTP, we'll worry about TLS later. And start the website immediately. So if we browse out to this application now, we should be able to see it. So localhost default.html. Yep, that looks exactly what I expect it to look like. Good. Step 1 is done. We've proved out that the monolith works in modern application environment. We can actually port it over to Windows Server container now if we wanted to. I did that in a previous video. So we're actually going to talk about breaking this monolith up. So let's explore how this monolith is made again. So if I'm going to view this from VS Code, let's actually open this in VS Code. Oops, let's close this window first. And then we will go to this chat application. And let's view this in VS Code and talk about some of the things that we decided on yesterday. So a couple of things we decided on yesterday. Open this with code. I'll open my monolith notes from yesterday and talk about where we are and where we're going. I've been playing around with this quite a bit, and I'm just going to find my notes on it. Monolith notes. There we go. I think this is what I want. Yep. This is so we're decided on doing 2 tests. I'm going to not worry about the IP test nor set test. Basically, the way this application works, if I hit IP, it shows the IP address of the current user. If I type in reset, it then hides that IP. So we're going to ignore that feature. I don't think it's very useful. It certainly won't be very useful when we go to a microservices architecture or Kubernetes because the way CNI works, this code just does not work quite right because the IP address ends up being the IP address based on like the CNI. So, and it's different from CNI to CNI. I did some testing out with that and figured out that the client actually changes. So that's less useful here. We're more interested in just a test around the username. Guest name here, and the message. We'll make sure those things work. Now, how you go about testing your application and your monolith, and how you go about migrating your monolith will vary from application to application. So this is a nice small application. It's very approachable. We can do all the tests we want at once. I don't always recommend that. I actually recommend start unit testing where you are. So if you've done none, there's no need to go from 0 to 100% code coverage. That's wasteful. It doesn't make sense. You know the application works to an extent because it's running in production right now. I'm going to actually recommend a very specific book around this. There's a book called Working Effectively with Legacy Code by Michael Feathers. I actually have that specific book here already ready in my browser. This talks about actually working with code that exists before doing tests, adding tests into an application, an untested application. His definition of a legacy application is any application that is untested. That's actually a pretty good definition because really you don't actually know if it works right until you can prove that it works right. So we need a baseline of testing for anything that we change within this application. This is going to be difficult because it's ASP Classic. There are no test frameworks around ASP Classic that work like our modern test frameworks do today. So we're actually going to automate the web browser to prove this out. So I'm going to use a technology called Selenium. It's seleniumhq.org, and I've actually already gone and installed the Selenium IDE. So you click on the Selenium IDE link here, open this in a new tab, and with the Selenium IDE. So we're going to use that to create our test code for tonight. So I'm going to use C#. There are multiple plugins and multiple code formats that are supported. I'm using C# because a lot of people who are in this space are using Go or they're coming from Java background. I think in C#, I've heard C# for a bunch of years, VB as well. So ASP Classic is also pretty easy for me as well. So I've already got this. I've got my Selenium test here. So let's actually get started. So first thing first, let's actually open our application. And we're going to test 2 functions tonight. We're going to test whether the new user coming in gets the things that we think they'll get. So when a new user comes in, we get this new visitor from IP address message, and we get this guest message, and we get a time. Now I'm less concerned about the time. This thing's a little hokey in how it runs. It does some reloading, and we're just going to have to account for the fact that the difference between when you submit like a put or a post and when it shows up on the screen is instantaneous. There's actually a little bit of there's a delay there. So we'll have to account for the delay as well. So let's actually test those 2 functions. Maybe we'll actually test that this date time thing works as well. So I'm actually just going to hit the Selenium here. We're going to use a new test in a new project. Break my monolith. Oh, Okay. And then the base URL is going to be the one that we're actually looking at. d://localhost /default.htm. And so we're going to start recording. So this chat page opens up, which is nice because we'll actually get to see the new visitor come in. Good. So I want to know where a couple of these things are. Now, the nice thing, now that we're recording, we can see here that we can test. Let's go click here. And we're going to click here. We're going to click down here in the time, the guest, the message. Let's go ahead and wipe this out. And we'll send that message. We see that goes to the top. And let's go ahead and close that. I think it's everything we need for our test tonight. We're going to close that, and we have this interesting Selenium, this interesting set of Selenium tests. No, I didn't later. I don't want any new test yet. With this really interesting Selenium test now. I'm going to clean out some cruft. We're going to label this a little bit because we know the things that we sit on. Oh, this is interesting. So we opened up the application. Window size we don't have to worry about. Select frame. This is important. So going back to the code of this application. Go back to this default HTML. There's 2 frames here. So we're going to have to account for the frame. Now, I know from working with the Selenium SDK and the API that we can do frame by name. So we're going to actually rely on the fact that we have chat top here and chat message here. And we're not going to worry about display or message really tonight. I don't think we're going to need to. We might need to make one. Actually, we'll need to make one little change if we're going to test out that date and time, because I remember that code does not have any way of identifying it. So now let's go back to our application. Go back to our web browser with our test extension here. So first thing here, this is going to be clicking the body. So we want to, we're just going to put our test here right in the description. Test for current, is it current date or current time first? Let's actually look at that. So current date, current time. All right. Test for current date. You know, we'll test for current date and time. We'll do that as one specific test. You can see here, they both came up as CS as body. That's going to be a problem because that just means we click the body and there's no identifier there. So we're going to have to account for that. Now, fortunately, ooh, this mixed some things up. Okay. Child 3. Oh, it didn't get my first click because I think let's do a quick record. Run the test. I think that should be column 2. All right, let's solve. Then yeah, because that's column. We'll just click there a bunch of times. Go. Yep, and close. Okay. Yep, that is 2. Good. I just looked at this page a lot. So we won't put about the selecting the frame. We have our test here. We're going to test for the time. Test for message time. We're going to test for, so that's the message time is here. We can delete all these other ones that are 2. We have 3. We're going to test for the user. All right, and then we're going to test for the message self. Now, the nice thing is that it always goes from the most current thing down. So that row is always going to be the one we test off of, which will be kind of nice. And then we have select frame. So it's interesting. We selected the frame, so we're in like this frame set. We went to frame 0, which was that top frame. We went back up to the parent. That's important, and then back down to 1. So the second frame, that chat frame. So we'll make note of that. And then we don't have to worry about clicking on the username because we're just going to type into it. Now we are going to want to clear that. Do we have clear in here? Find out. I'm going to insert a new command. Then I think it's clear. Clear, close. Is there a clear command? Oh no. L-E-A. Nope. No clear command. There is a clear in the API. We'll take advantage of that. Clear here. Here. Type in the username. Type in the message. And we don't. Oh, and then. Oh yeah. This is input nth child 2. We should put an ID on that, but we don't have to. So we have everything that we need now. Let's export this code. I'm going to use XUnit tonight. Let's include the tracings. That'll include our descriptions as well. Help guide us through this. Invalid command. Okay. Let's just grab a command that doesn't. Oh, I could even do a search here. That would be interesting. Check. You know what? I'm just deleting this. We'll know that after the select frame and the typing the username that we're going to have to clear the username box because it already has guest in it. So let's actually export this now. We're going to export this XUnit, include the tracing comments, and then we'll put this untitled test in my desktop. Save that. Just leave that around just in case we need to come back to it. Well, this going back now. Not me. And desktop. What did I call this? Untitled tests. Let's view this in VS Code and take a look at what it built. So generated by Selenium IDE. Go ahead and make this much out of the way. I'm going to be quite this small. Y'all are looking at screens. I'm not doing a presentation on a projector. What we have here, we have our open, we have our find element. We're switching to frames, our selectors, and we can see the clicks. Switch to default content, switch to frame, find the element. Okay, we have enough here to start testing with. So I'm actually going to copy this. Oh, Firefox driver. We're going to have a problem with that. I've had nothing but issues with the Firefox driver on Windows. I don't know what my issue is. I'll figure it out later. I tend to use the remote driver, so you can actually set Selenium up as a server, as a grid, essentially. You use the Selenium grid to surface multiple browser types, and you use the remote web driver to talk to it. That's how I usually test with this stuff. I don't usually do local testing like we're doing tonight, but that wouldn't, show on camera very well. So we're going to use the Chrome driver because I know the Chrome driver works. So we have our test here. What I did was I just created a Microsoft test suite, and I'm actually going to remove all the Microsoft test stuff. I'm just going to use XUnit since it was generated XUnit code. Get rid of that unit test. The system core. This is a .NET Framework app because there are things in .NET Framework that we need that can talk to Windows, that can automate the web browser. As we move this to, that's fine. As we move this over to break the monolith, turn it into microservices, we'll also do some conversions so that it no longer needs Windows, which would be kind of cool. Now the Selenium test will always still need Windows, maybe. Actually, no. We'll figure out virtual frame buffer later, but that is a conversation for another time. Let's go ahead and manage our NuGet packages. I want the Selenium IDE for Windows. No, not references. I want manage NuGet packages. There we go. And let's, for that, add a test. Let's see. We're going to add a unit test. We're not going to use that one. We're going to take advantage of some of the fun things that are in Visual Studio here. The Visual Studio will actually detect the various things that we're using and add in the NuGet packages for us here. So let's find XUnit. Now I have a plugin called ReSharper. Go get ReSharper. It's written by JetBrains. If you use Visual Studio and you're not using ReSharper or Code Complete or some other things, go get a refactoring tool. ReSharper has a lot more than refactoring. And I don't. And right now, I no longer know where Visual Studio ends and ReSharper begins, because Visual Studio also keeps adding things that are not in ReSharper. I'm gonna grab. I don't see XUnit LOC. I'm just gonna see if I can find XUnit. Abstraction. You know, I would expect to find it easier in here. Let's hide this for a moment. Let's just grab this Selenium support UI, because I do know that works. That finds it really easy, and we'll find XUnit the old-fashioned way. So there's support classes. This will give us everything that we need to talk to Selenium, except for the WebDriver itself. So that gives us all the WebDriver support that we need. So WebDriver is how Selenium talks to the browser. WebDriver is another open standard for the use of automating web browsers. So we've got that. Let's add XUnit. I keep hitting add reference and not manage NuGet package. We'll grab XUnit here. Go to browse, grab XUnit, install. And that all looks good. And then we'll take this unit test. XUnit should work. I'll give it a second to go figure out what it's doing. Yep, there it goes. XUnit just lit up. We're gonna rename this to Sweet Test. That's what the IDE called it. And so now we have tests. I'm going to remove the Firefox test. We're going to use the Chrome driver. Like I said, I've had issues with the Firefox driver. So for this to work, you're going to need the WebDriver executable. You can find it for each of your browsers. This case is called the Gecko driver. And it's a Mozilla project out on GitHub. So if you use Firefox, you'll need the Mozilla Gecko driver. There's the Selenium remote WebDriver. If you're going to do like a whole grid type of thing, the remote WebDriver, you tell it where the different client WebDrivers are, it handles the rest. But today we want the Chrome WebDriver. And you can get this right here from, where is that? Chrome driver. So you can go ahead and download the Chrome driver. Maybe. Try that again. Hopefully I've not lost my connectivity. I'm going to check my connection real quick on my other machine. Yep. Looks like I've got a connectivity hiccup. We'll see if it recovers. Stop streaming, stop recording. It looks like we're still streaming. I'm going to trust we're still streaming. And we're back. Okay. So if you've lost the live transmission, you wouldn't be watching if you lost live. But we have a recording. So you'll grab the Chrome driver. So WebDriver. You'll grab the Chrome driver, set it up, do the quick install. For remote driver, use it here. What I did was I ended up putting it in C:\tools / Selenium C tools Selenium, and then I have the Chrome driver, the Gecko driver. I'll figure out the Gecko driver one of these days. Do make sure you unblock. So if you unblock, you do it from PowerShell with the unblock file, or go to properties, and there'll be an unblock over here. I've already gone and done that on this version. Let's go ahead and modify this code. Go to Chrome driver. We use Chrome driver. Chrome driver uses a Chrome driver service that we can give the path to our application. Or no, it's Chrome driver service, create default service, and we're going to give the path 1/tools /selenium. Hopefully I've spelled it right. Or no, there's no backslash there. Then we have to give it the executable name. Slashes with escape. And that is called Chrome driver. I don't have to give it that, it will assume, but I like being explicit. Do our Chrome driver here. So we will have to start testing for various time and things of that nature. So first things first, we'll open the URL. This shouldn't be hard-coded, but for the point of tonight, I'm fine with that. Then this body click is going to be a problem. It's just going to be a problem. So we're going to have to modify the code a little bit to handle finding the date and time. Let's do that first. So first things first, let's go ahead and do that. Message. Oh, it's going to be the message. It's going to be in our display. And let's see. Probably that create heading. Let's find create heading. Yep, there's the date and time. So we're actually going to end date. We'll leave the BR alone. And we'll need a span on the end of here. All right, there's our span. Thanks for helping. We're going to call this time. Format date. We'll call this one date. Good. I should have, yep, there. Oh no, yep, that's right. Do there, end date, and that. Oh, this is gonna be a problem here. We need to double that one up, and we'll need to double this one up. ASP Classic for the win. All right, I think that'll work. Let's test our application real quick. Thing still works. I've lost my date. Why have I lost my date? Oh, helps when you close your tag. Open tag, close tag, open collect those tag. Oh, and we need to close tag. Manual HTML for the win. Hey, look at that. Reload it. Looks good. Good. So we have that now. We can test for that now. Now, keep in mind everything we're doing. This is a live demo. These are not production-ready tests by any stretch of the imagination. Go read your docs. Go read your best practices stuff. Do this well. I'm just introducing you to the concepts, talking about what we need to do. So first thing, we're going to test for current date and time. So what we know is when we load it, that date and time will be within a couple of seconds of as the test runner is running. That's going to be good enough for me. So let's actually grab that time. So this is completely useless to us. Let's actually just pull a full date time from the thing. We're going to var cat time. And that's going to be equal to, we want the driver find element. This is by ID. We want date. And our better ways to concatenate strings. We're just doing it quick. Get this to pass. Driver.find element by ID time. That was lowercase. I can't remember if times are case sensitive. So that will give us the string of date and time, and then we just need a date time out of that. So we use our handy dandy convert to date time and grab that, and things will go awry if for some reason it's not actual date time. But that's fine. That just means our test will fail. No big deal. That's our chat time, and then we'll do our var now time. Date time now. And so this will be first test. We assert date and time display. in the chat. So we're going to need to do an assert. Is true. True. And we're going to assert that the difference between now minus chat time. We need to. We're going to grab total seconds. So when you subtract 2 times, you just get the difference between the two. We're going to get the total seconds between the two, and we're going to say it's less than, I don't know. Well, is it updating? I didn't even look. No, it's just the last. It's just the last reload. Let's just say it's within 5 seconds. Good enough. Why not? So that's our first assertion. We're going to assert that the total seconds is within 5 seconds. Great. Ooh. Mention. We need to select our proper frame first. That will fail outright. Let's go ahead and select our right frame. Which to frame? I want the frame by name. I want chat top. So frame will either take either the name of the frame in the code, which was chat top and chat message, or the index of the frame based on the frame set order. So we're going to do it that way. Now we want to make sure, so we want to actually assert that when a user comes in, that it says there is a new user. So we're going to assert. Really, this is 2 separate tests, and it should be 2 separate tests, or test per assert. However you want to do it. I'm just doing it all at once for the sake of time. So we need to grab the value out of here. So the time for the message. So we're going to assert time for message is nowish. Nowish. I like that. Let's do it nowish. So first we'll need to grab the time. Var chat time. Or no. New. Yeah, we'll call message time. That's fine. Equals this. And that's just going to be the value. No, it's going to be text. That's right. So we'll grab the text. So we're basically grabbing the CSS element. And if you're not a CSS person, this just says grab the third child. So this is grab the. Oh, I'm forgetting how to read this. I think it's like second. Yeah, it's grab the third row, and the second TD in the third row. It should, if I'm reading it correctly. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Then 1, 2. Yeah. So yeah, the second TD in the third row is how that's reading. So you're saying, okay, first grab me the third row, then grab me the second TD. Got it. Got it. All right, so we're gonna grab the text from that. That gives us the message time. We're gonna grab the message user, and that's gonna be. I'm gonna copy this. Thank you, Visual Studio. We're gonna grab that, and it's gonna be 3.3. Nope, don't want that. Grab 3.3, and then we're gonna grab the message time. We're just gonna reuse. We're just gonna copy paste and reuse this later. Message text, message. Yeah, that's good. Driver, find elements, and then again we're gonna do the same thing here. And grab this one. Put up here. And again, what did I do? There are just times where I am not a smart person. You probably hear that like 3 or 4 times every one of these. But I will never be the claim to be the smartest person in the room. Even this room, and I'm by myself. Text. So now, we have our message time, our message user, our message text. We can do some tests against this. So let's do our, delete that out. So we're going to assert, we need to, let's see, how do we want to test the date? We just test the time. We're going to say the time, we only have seconds. We just have minutes. So if the thing goes off at 001 or at 00 and the test follows over to the next minute, let's just say it's within 75 seconds. Why not? So again, we're going to grab, we already have now time. So var, so we're going to grab a message time, called a message date time. Equals. We're going to grab now time. We're just going to grab the date part of it. Grab the date, right? And then, yeah, we just want the date. And we're going to make this we're going to make this a short string, short date string. We're going to add this to the text of our message time. No, message time. That will give us today's date with the time of the message. Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll convert that to a date time. And there's some shenanigans here. We could be more precise. This, I'm looking for sanity check, essentially. Because we're going to be modifying this thing and breaking up the monolith. So we just want to make sure it at least behaves the way it did before we start mucking with it. The message time, and we again will assert, and we'll do like 75 seconds this time. We'll assert that. So my function key is right next to my control key on this keyboard. Makes all kinds of fun. So now time and message date time is within, yeah, let's say, really could be closer. Let's say, yeah, I'm just gonna go with 75. It just makes this a little bit easier. That's our first test. This is test one, really. And then test two is going to be the testing that our messages work properly. So yeah, we're gonna have to switch back to our original frame. Now we know where we are, so we're gonna go back to the parent frame here. Parent frame is just another way. Default contents is, go to the main frame set. I'm fine in this case jumping from parent frame because we have some idea of state of where we are. And then this one was called chat message, I believe. Yeah, chat message. I might be wrong. So we'll go to that frame. Again, we're just removing the debugging notes. So here we're actually typing in a message. And let's actually put some randomness into this. We can't guarantee a repeat test pass. So we're going to say var expected message equals my message. And let's put like a random number on the end. So here, let's feed our random number generator, pseudo random number generator, technically. Var random equals 2 random, and let's see that with the current millisecond. Oops. So we can just use, a time dot now dot millisecond. That'll work. Close enough. So we want the new message and we want the random number. Next. That will give us a randomized message for testing. Not guaranteed, but close enough for our work. And then let's do the same thing with the username. And we'll reuse the same random number generator. Perfect. And then in this case, we're going to send in, instead of new user, send an expected user. And we're going to send in expected message. Um, good, good. And then that will click, that actually clicks the submit button. And we're probably going to need some. And then we'll, yeah, close at the end. This thing already will quit. Perfect. So that'll close our web browser just to clean up after ourselves, which is just being a good tester. Let's look at this. Where are areas where this could go awry? So we've seen this thing behave. It takes a little bit of time to start up. There's a little bit of time between when the submit happens and when we actually see it. So yeah, let's actually, we're going to put some sleeps in here. So we'll take them out later once we break the monolith up. That'll be kind of nice. So, and we need our certs first. So we'll need a message, send it, and we won't want to close till. Oh no, we can do the assert before. So or after the close. So we're going to assert true. No, we cannot do that. That would be really bad. Let's go find an element after we've closed the web browser. That'll work, right? But we're going to reuse this because we have these available to us once again. Message time, message text. That's why I did that, to make my life easier. So message time, message user, message text. We're not going to worry about the message time because technically it's already been tested when the new user comes in. Well, yeah. Actually, you know what? We'll test that as well. So we're going to, yeah, let's do that. So we've done that. We've clicked that. Let's sleep. Let's go like 7 seconds. I think 7 will be enough. So, from minutes. 7. I think is, yeah, because I think it reloads every 5. We'll give it an extra couple so we don't hit like right on a reload. Not guaranteed, but close enough. We're probably going to do this right at the top too. Yeah, we're going to do this right at the top too, aren't we? So let's sleep here as well for 7 seconds. Good. We're sleeping for 7. I'm okay with that. Or no, not 7 milliseconds. That will not work. Time span from seconds. 7 seconds. All right. I think that's the only places where we'll have here. So let's actually now assert these various things. Sleep 7. So yeah, so let's grab these again. We'll take the vars off them. We won't need them here. It will yell at us for having them. They've already been declared. All right. So message time, message, and now we can just do our asserts. And we're going to assert. Oh, we never did these asserts the first time. Okay, good. So we are going to assert on the message date time again. And we're going to assert it's within 10 seconds. That should work. Or no. Yeah, well, yeah, in 10. Close enough. So, message date time there. Yeah, I think 10 seconds is more than enough personally. And that should work. So now we have to do our asserts for both the chat and for the new user. So we know that, you know what? We're gonna actually we're gonna reuse this up top because we know the expected user too at the top. So when we come in, daytime, assert that it's nowish. We're gonna assert the daytime is nowish. We're gonna assert the user's guest. Right? Yes. So assert full. So expected user. Right? Expected is first. And the actual is what was found. Good. And let's just var. Let's see. We open that. We had our chat top. We're doing our assert time. Okay. And then Yeah, let's put our expectations up top. Var expected user equals so the expected user here should be guest, right? Yep, guest. And the var expected start of the message, we're gonna have the whole message is new visitor from IP. Let's actually just grab that. Good. We'll do a starts with for our first test and a matches on our second test. Happen. Oh, I inadvertently hit something I shouldn't have. Oh, it's reloading every 5 seconds. New visitor from IP. All right. Capital F? Nope. Lowercase f. Lowercase v. Right? Right. Okay, we'll put a space in there too. So we're going to assert this date and time in the chat. We're going to assert the user is guest. No, I don't want to regex. I want equal. So I want my expected user. And then I want my actual user. So message user. Oh, out of order. That's okay. I think it's misbehaving tonight. So expected user, now time and chat time. It's fine. We've asserted the chat. Yeah. So we want those. Grab our expectations. Grab our actual data. At top first. Live thinking through stuff. Okay, so we've asserted the date and time the chat is there. We've asserted the user is guest. Right, okay. And then we have to assert guest. Oh yeah. We're gonna assert that's the chat test. Assert message time is nowish. We'll use our nowish test. Actually, we'll use that same nowish test. Yeah, we'll use the same 10-second test here. Actually, okay with that. Yep, assert the message is nowish. That's the first row. Message date time, we're gonna read here. Top. Good. Is nowish. 10 seconds. User is guest. Oh, and the message. Forms of the new guest. We're going to say assert. It starts with? Hey, look at it. It starts with. So the expected start string is expected message. And the actual is message text. All right. That's good. All right. That's good. What are we doing on OBS? OBS still running? OBS is doing fine. Good. I think resharp. I might have to turn off resharper for future broadcasts. What I'll do is that if I don't know what the quality of this is right now. What I do know is that I'll use the recording when I put it up on YouTube because the recording will be better quality no matter what. So we're gonna unform the new guest. Assert the time is now-ish. Yep, that's good. All right. So assert time is now-ish. Assert time and display in the chat. In 5. Message time is now-ish. User message. Maybe that does need to be 75. I don't know. Don't need that one. Wait. Date time chat. Oh, I needed that test. The time for the message now-ish. Yeah. It's a chat time. I'm going to mark these tests off so we can see them. The function key where it is on this keyboard is driving me crazy. All right. So this is the chat time test. This is the, thanks Visual Studio, really appreciate the help. New user test. I'll use my keyboard. And this is the new message test. Right, good. All right, new message test. Camera frame. Grab the selectors. Oh, we already have these tests here. So instead of asserting its guest, we're going to assert the test is no different. There. Yep. So start time is nowish. Good. Start the user, the one we typed. And assert the message is the one we typed. All right. All right. Let me grab that one. In this case, it's not going to be a starts with. There's going to be an equals here, and I will fix that when I'm going to run this and debug the first time so we can see values to see just how badly I've screwed up. I imagine I've probably screwed up. That's what happens with live coding. We're tempting the demo gods. So we have our tests, and we're going to run our tests and see how it goes. Boy, I bet this is slowing down the video. That's okay. Good. So Chrome came right up. Means I set up my Chrome driver properly. I like that. Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. That's pretty cool. So we've failed somewhere. No such element, unable to locate the element ID of date. Why not? Oh, I know why. Because we put it in the wrong order. Boom. We have to select our proper. There we go. Let's try this again now. The sessions, and we'll debug it this time. That way we can see all the mistakes I have made, because there are lots of them. Just how badly. We got the 7-second sleep in there. Cool. Hey, it hasn't failed yet. I would expect a debug failure. Oh, where have we died? The string was not recognized as valid. So not valid daytime. All right, let's find out what this is. So we've done this. Some of these like newfangled toys are kind of getting in the way here. It's all fine and good. I just want to see what the time is. I'm getting here. Put this in the immediate window. Ask a question. Oh. I am a smart man. Yes, we've concatenated two objects. Gotten the object names. Permanent the top process. We'll kill Chrome once again. Yep. That was all kinds of smart. Okay, let's see if we did that down below, because we might have done that below too. Did we? Nope. Different pull. So we pulled that. we pulled the message time, right? Message time is here. Yes, let's grab the text there. So that isn't so bad. I'm just going to run these again. In these here. And we'll do it once again. See how it goes. And breaking the monolith, like I said, there's a little bit of tedium in here because we're breaking an ancient monolith with no test framework. I tried to write a VB6 test framework back in the day. It was interesting exercise. It kind of infected the code a little bit. So invalid selector exception. Yuck. That. Child. Ew. I would expect that to work. Oh. There you are. And we do it again. I can feel your anticipation waiting for this to run properly. Really, I should have some background music. Be nice. Oh, we've asserted false. Oh. Expected guest and got guessed. I'm gonna guess there's some sort of interesting, like, new line character dealy going on. So let's actually trim these. We're gonna trim that message text. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We're gonna trim that, and I think that's gonna go the same for our message text down here. Some sort of invisible character is different, and I don't care. It's not enough for me to care. And let's run it again. It kind of sucks because we have these huge delays in here, and it drives me a little nuts, but I know that if I didn't have the delays in, I'd have timing issues, even with passing tests. So we should in a second. We'll see the reload. And if we know if it passes, if the username and text changes, because it's the next test, and it did not. What now? Oh. Again, I'm a genius. I trimmed the wrong thing. And let's do it down here or up here just for let's do that again. One of these days I'll get like music set up on the mixer. Like, so I've got this really cool mixer thing here. You can't see it because it's all the way over here, and if I touch it I'll probably break something. And I don't want to break my mic. Eventually, yeah, we'll do some background music and make this a lot more fun. So you're not listening to me talk the whole time. Oh, look, there's our user stuff, and it sent it. Hey, look at that. Oh, we forgot to clear. It's still going to fail. It's just not going to fail as nastily. No such element exception. Where is no such element? It's probably the thing I copied and pasted wrong. Ooh. Method selector. I'm going to guess it's a timing issue. But what I did realize is I didn't clear that box. So find element, send keys, expect a user. Yeah, I noticed that when we did this, it did not clear out the original guess thing. And that's actually the correct behavior of it. And so we'll clear that. All right. I'm going to guess that, see, in chat message. Let me make sure that is called chat message. Called chat message. So let's just go ahead and review. Chat message, parent frame, chat message, clear, send keys, child to click, sleep 7 seconds, by element. These should be the same as these, right? 2, 3, 4, 4, child 3. I'm guessing we just ran into some weird timing issue because of our reloads. Testing monoliths for fun and profit. Let's do it again. Because I like torture. All right. close. Free, free. That worked. Okay. Guest. Message. Message. It will knock it off like 2-3 seconds. See if that works. It worked? Failed. No such element. Where? Where are you no such element? Selector. Oh. We need to reselect. Ugh. Ugh. Yuck. I think that's what I'm running. I'm not 100%. We're going to grab it. So this is where we can take advantage of that from default content. To default content. And then we're going to grab that frame again. I think that's what's going on. I think because I think the reload is causing interesting behavior that I've not seen in some other testing of this stuff. This is one of those weird Selenium things or weird WebDriver things. That's what I think I'm running into. Yeah. If all else fails, I'll grab the more professional, not live version of this that I'm using for a blog post, and we'll run that just to show you that, hey, this stuff does work, and that's where we're coming from with this. Good. We have a new test user, and failed. Failed. Why are you failing? I know why this failed. No, I don't know why this failed. Find element. Oh. No. No. Driver. Find element. By CSS. I wonder. I think I'm losing reality because of the nature of it. I'm just going to open up my other more professional version and walk you through that really quickly. Only take a minute. And it's a timing issue. I'm certain it's a timing issue. We're not going to. It's trash. Not that one. Maybe. Wait a second. Yeah. So in this one, I just separated the test into two separate classes. In this case, we have the new user joins. It opens up, runs a default, navigates, does similar tests. Users guessed, users joined, message time is nowish. And again, let's take a look at this one. Again, we're clearing the username, adding the username and message, sleeping for 7, going to parent frame, chat top. Oh, now I know what I've done wrong. This is what we've done the whole time. I typed in the message, forgot to go back to the parent frame. So I have to go up and then down. That's what I did wrong. That was it. Did I actually probably should have saved that? That was actually cleaner code than some of this stuff. But just to show you this stuff does indeed work. Let's actually go ahead and run these tests here. It'll do the same exact thing for the most part, except slightly cleaner code. I'll put this code in the comments probably later this week, early next week, just when I get around to it. Just busy here at Tech Bash. I'm meeting people, for dinner and networking and doing all that fun stuff. Might even be meeting with some other streamers. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Test user, test message. You saw the thing just flash. This opened two separate. This is browser per test, which is kind of nice, and everything is green. So now we have a test framework to move forward with for anything new that comes up. So that's it for tonight. Tomorrow Let's see, what do we do tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow we will develop out the API. Now, I probably won't do the whole thing. I may pre-code it, or I may just code part of it, because API stuff is a little bit more involved. But that's the next piece, is actually creating the API for the anti-corruption layer. So with that, y'all have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.